What's up, press culture? I am here with the one, the only AJ Crimson. Not only is he a Detroit native, he's also the top celebrity makeup artist in the nation.
I'll take it.
What's up, AJ? How are you?
How are you?
I am good. How are you? I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So let's just hop right into it.
Okay.
How did all of this begin? Like, where did your love for cosmetology come from, and being a makeup artist? Where did all this come from?
I think I just kind of fell into makeup and cosmetics and that world by happenstance. I actually started out in radio.
Really?
Yeah, I started on radio at WJLB, FM 98, and I was a producer and music research coordinator for the 6 to 10 show for a guy, Bushman, which I think he's still there.
Yeah.
So I did that for about a year, and then I kind of went into records. I went into the music business, and I started working with Michael Bivins' company, Biv 10, when it was in Detroit, and helping to develop acts and artists. And there was where I got like this crash course of just, you know, what different positions were within the music industry, from hair, makeup, wardrobe, just what it took to make an artist. And having that education, that hands-on education, and just being able to put different titles and names to different jobs, it really just opened me up, and they really gave me the opportunity. Peggy Body, who is actually a native Detroiter as well, she was who I was working for, and she really just guided me through, you know, the business of being in, I guess, like glam, if you would say. I mean, that's what we're kind of calling it now. So, you know, just building artists and building brands. So it was really great, and I just kind of developed it from there.
Did you have any aha moment? Like, was there anything or any time and place where you were like, this is my purpose, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Because you have a great radio voice.
Oh, thanks.
I would think you would stay there.
I think that when I was in radio, when I was starting, it was kind of watching how radio artists would sometimes have to leave the market. Like I'm starting out and I'm in market number 6 at the time, you know? And then I'd have to go to like Greensboro, North Carolina, or like Jacksonville, Florida, which those are great cities, but I didn't really see myself really existing and living the life that I wanted to live in those cities just to come back to market number 6. Like I want to go up, you know, if anything, I want to go to market number 1 and 2, you know? So I think for me, that was just kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is not necessarily what I want to do. And maybe there's a different way that I could use my voice and just use my creativity, and I just found that, you know, through working with artists, and that was always really exciting, being able to take something, almost conceptualize like the look and what the artist is going to look like based on the sound of the music, and kind of help build this person, you know. And I think that when you think about makeup, you're kind of like building this person to what they want to be. You're enhancing their natural features. You're taking them, you know, kind of in their raw when they come and sit down in your chair, but then you're building them up to this image that they have of themselves, or at least what they may want to see of themselves, like a more polished version of themselves. So I think that was kind of what I was able to take away with that. And I think the aha moment for me was more or less, I was at Oprah's house actually for a dinner. And there was only 19 people invited to this dinner, and I thought, like, wow, like how did I make it to the room? You know, because for so long, like, or you know, when people see you with certain celebrity girls or what have you, it's like, oh, like this is AJ Crimson, so and so's makeup artist, and I never really felt like I belonged to anyone like that. Like I'm your partner in this, you know, like we're working together. So when I walked into Oprah's home, and she knew exactly who I was, and all of the guests knew exactly who I was when I walked in. It was not AJ, the makeup artist. It was just AJ. I was just AJ. And that's how I've always just kind of looked at myself. And I felt like if John Travolta knows my name and Oprah knows my name and these people, there's no one that could be beneath what their standard of living is that cannot know that and not see the value in that. And I think it was more about the value of knowing the value of who I am and who I can be. That was like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. It's not. That's the thing. Like it's knowing your worth. Yeah.
Absolutely. So speaking of knowing your worth, like I said in the beginning of the interview, you are the top celebrity makeup artist in the nation. So who was your first celebrity artist? Like, and can you relive that moment? Were you super nervous? Like, let's just revisit that. Take me back to there, please.
My first celebrity artist was Fergie from Black Eyed Peas.
Really? That's a
Yeah.
dope artist.
So,
That's a dope first artist.
Yeah, she was dope. But I mean, we both were poor. Like, we were both poor. Like, she was in Dickies and a t-shirt, and you know, and I was just kind of new to LA fresh. You know, I don't even know what this style that I thought I had I was rocking, but you know, we were. I got this opportunity to work on the "Where's the Love" video. And she hired me for hair and makeup, and we were just, she wanted dreads, and I hired like a hairstylist to come kind of work on it with me, and through this video, it was so many different people that just, everybody wanted something, from the record label wanting her to look a certain way, she wanted to look a certain way, and then, you know, having to find that fine balance. So it was a little nerve-wracking, because this was the first thing that I had keyed on my own. I had assisted other people before, but on for a major label artist, for hair and for makeup, it was just very new. It was a great experience, you know, working with the P's. And I remember someone saying, because she loved to be really tan, so someone was like, well, why does she look so orange? And then this assistant that I had hired was using these blue drops that kind of make your eye, the whites of your eye, like really white and bright.
Yes, I heard the celebrities use that.
She used them on Apple, and they turned his contacts blue, so you could see it in the monitor. And someone was like, why is his eyes glowing? And I looked at her, I was like, are you trying to get me fired? So she was like,
wrong with you?
Like, how is all this happening on this earth? But it turned out really great, and it's actually like such a classic.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, this is such a developing world when it comes to social media and YouTube, especially when it comes to makeup artists.
Absolutely.
So how do you keep yourself separate, like when it comes to YouTubers who are YouTube makeup artists?
Right.
Because I know a few people who have just like learned all of their expertise from YouTube, and they don't have any certifications or any type of experience. So how do you keep yourself separate in that developing world? Like,
you know what? I think that my resume has done that. You know, it's never been a thing. I don't set out to make myself different than anyone else. Like, I think I just found the thing that works for me, and why people love working with me. Like, I do skin really beautifully. I do very natural skin beautifully. I mean, I could use, you know, 1,000 different colors of foundation on you, but it would all just look like your skin. And I think that's the thing that makes me special. My personality is what makes me special. But those are not things that you necessarily like work on. It's within you to do it. You know, and I think that I've ran into a lot of artists who say, like, how's it that you're friends with all your artists? I was like, I don't know, we just became friends. Like, I didn't set out to say, oh, I'm gonna be her friend. Or I'm gonna get to know this thing.
It was organic.
Very much so organic. So I think that in this quest of people trying to differentiate themselves from the next person, I think it's really just about being your authentic self, like finding what really makes you you, not trying to fit yourself into a mold or a box of what society thinks you should be, or what you think will be the thing that gets you to the next place. I mean, look at, and speaking of social media, look at Cardi B, for instance. You know, she's unapologetically herself, and she's always been that. And it worked. And I think that the people that follow that type of a blueprint usually find success.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what do you find is the most influential way to build a following in the world of cosmetics?
Again, I mean, it's just building yourself. It's just good work. You know, I mean, there's a ton of makeup artists out here that are making a lot of money that don't do very great makeup at all. You know, which is unfortunate, you know, for the people. But a lot of times what keeps them there is their personality. You know, because you just want to be around good people. You know, some people think that being great at what they do, you have to, you know, be a diva, or you have to be extra, and you have to be like, you know, turn it all on at 1,000. And a lot of times it's really not like that. You know, I feel like for the entire time that I've, you know, kind of been working in makeup, even especially in the beginning, I was so tired of talking when I was working at the record labels, that by the time I got to just doing one-on-one makeup with my client, she would be talking and I would kind of be listening. But I was really just focused on how to make you look great. So it's like, I hear you, but I don't hear you. It's not being thirsty for the wrong water. You know what I mean? If you can identify with that, it's just, you know, don't look for the likes will come. It's almost like chasing money. Like if you chase the money, like the money won't come to you. But if you spend your energy trying to create a great product and a great outcome and always looking to elevate yourself to the next level and whatever that next level looks like for you, then the money will come and the success will come and the likes will come and the people will notice the work that you're doing. But we're in a copycat society, and unfortunately everybody is trying to do the look that they saw on someone else. And that's okay when you're self-teaching. You can only teach yourself so much. You know, so I even though for the most part I could say like, yes, I'm self-taught, but at the same time, I've also learned from greats. You know, I trained, working under Pat McGrath. I studied Pat McGrath's work. I've studied Joanne Guerra's work. I've studied Matthew Anderson. We're doing Top Model with him, and doing all those things. But a lot of people don't research those names. They don't try to find out who the greats were before them. They're just excited about whoever their social media star of the moment is, and they want to do everything like that person. And unfortunately, that's just not the way to build a career that defines you, because you're basically just doing
copycat
what they did. And so how do you, so then you have to ask that person, well, how do you differentiate yourself from this person, because you're not doing something original?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, speaking of originality, what would you suggest for the new millennial that wants to be a celebrity makeup artist? Because like we said, there's so many of that going around, or so much of that going around. What would you suggest them to do? Would you suggest them to start at YouTube? Would you suggest them to start by just doing research? How would you suggest them to start to get their foot in the door with being a celebrity makeup artist?
Well, first, I mean, originality, I don't really believe in originality in a sense. Because I think that nothing is new, only what's forgotten, to be honest. You know, when you think—
That's a great way to think.
Yeah, when people pull reference, like when you see movies and you see things like Black Panther is like the big movie of the season right now, which actually they used AJ Crimson products on that.
Hello.
And on the actress there, so I'll just say that. So that Black excellence came together. But that is a comic book that was done back in the 70s, right? And that was the blueprint for something that we're using now that is so great. So it's just a reimagination of something that we kind of had forgotten about.
Absolutely.
I think if you are a new artist trying to break into the industry, again, it's about educating yourself on the things of past. Getting to know what makeup was like in the 20s, what it was like in the 50s, what it was like in every era, and when it changed, even how makeup came to be. Guerlain, which a lot of people don't know, Guerlain, the makeup company, is almost a 200-year-old brand, legacy brand, that created the lipstick.
Wow.
The way that with the mechanism in which we use a lot of lipsticks today, so those things matter, and doing your favorite reality star is cool. That doesn't necessarily make you a celebrity makeup artist.
Right.
I think like overusing titles is like really interesting. Educating yourself. Why not go and study in Japan the art of makeup, because they've been doing it beautifully, for centuries, and there's a technique and there's a precision that the Japanese take, when they're doing their makeup. And not only do you need to know how to do black skin and ethnic skin, which I think is really important. I mean, being a black makeup artist working in fashion, starting in fashion, of course I had to know how to do that and know how to do Caucasian face. I had to know how to do every skin type. And sometimes on the opposite end, they don't necessarily need to know, how to do women of color, because they're not faced with it every day. But being well versed in what you're doing, and finding products and researching products that aren't necessarily trendy or mainstream. It's good to be up on the trends, but you shouldn't be overloading everything you do with the trends. I really think you have to get back to the idea of being an artist, what a true artist means, and that is about exploration. It's about taking inspiration. It's about traveling the world and not being confined to the four corners of your city. I remember growing up here, and I love my family, but I don't really know that they necessarily understood the bigger vision that I have for myself. And I didn't know at the time that I would be doing makeup or anything in the arts, but I just knew that the world was way bigger than what I was seeing in my peripheral. Absolutely. So I wanted to be a part of that. You know,
Yes.
and that can't always just happen in one place. So, you know, that's what I would suggest. Get out, see the world, like be inspired, because you'll come up with fresh and new ideas, and then that will spark some originality and something that we haven't seen before. Because right now with social media, it's just pumping out the same thing, and with the algorithms, you're really just seeing everything that you like. You know, not everything that's actually being offered
and that works.
Yeah.
Right. Now, speaking of that, also let's piggyback back to your greatest accomplishment. To this date, what was your greatest accomplishment? Because you've had so many.
Right. It's kind of weird. Like it's hard to say this is my greatest. I don't want to pick.
I know.
I don't wanna
I
pick
knew
'cause I
it
don't
would be
feel
hard
like
for
I'm
you. That's
ready.
why I wanted to ask you.
I was how do you take so many triumphs, you know what I mean, and say this is my best one, because I'm consistently trying to top the last thing.
one. Yes.
Like I'm only in competition with myself. Like I'm not in competition with anybody else. I like to run my own race, and I like to see how much further I can go. And I think that if I had to pick one, I would definitely say it's the AJ Crimson Beauty brand, because you know what we've done and what I've done along with my team is we've pioneered the conversation, this new conversation on inclusion with women of color. You know, when I think of myself, I don't think of myself as a celebrity makeup artist. I look at myself as the ambassador of global beauty, because what that conversation, when we started AJ Crimson, I started with the darkest shade first, which is like of a girl who's South Sudanese, and then I worked my way backwards, you know, to include everyone else, because that girl is always forgotten. You know, when I traveled with Estelle for 3 years, and I've traveled with many girls, like from Hilary Duff to Fergie to Estelle, Christina Milian, all these girls in between, and they all have very different skin tones, but I always use a combination of or derivative of the skin tone in each one of them. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of this for one girl is perfect for another girl in another way. So we've really done that, and to see so many brands who have now jumped on this bandwagon of inclusion, seeing Black women use their voices to express to the cosmetic industry that we're not one size does not fit all, and we want variety and we want options. I'm glad that I pioneered that, and I'm glad that people are recognizing and finding that out, because you know, like as much as I love, you know, the variety of the brands, it didn't just start 2 months ago or or last winter. It just that didn't just happen. So and then taking it back to legacy brands that really started that conversation, like Fashion Fair. You know, Fashion Fair, like it's our grandmother's brand, you know, at this point, but at the same time there was always a brand out there that spoke directly to women of color. And I think if it is my mission to make sure that Black women see themselves in a positive light, and a light that is high fashion and not always just so commercial, you know, and just in a really beautiful, positive way, then that is my greatest accomplishment.
Absolutely. Now, you are such an innovator and you're such a visionary. Speaking of how we were just talking about how you kind of pioneered the darker skin tones and incorporated that into your beauty regimen. That's awesome. So what is next for you? Like, because obviously what's next for you would be what is next for beauty. So what's next? What's next for the AJ Beauty brand as a whole?
So as a whole, I mean, we're definitely expanding. I've been focusing a lot on foreign markets outside of the U.S. So we have a strong following in Kenya, in Ghana, and Nigeria, and also in the U.K. and South Africa. So I've been spending a lot of my time just nurturing that relationship with that girl and with that customer, and letting her get to know the brand and helping her. And in terms of product development, it really is a thing. I've been taking my time and really just listening to the feedback of the customers that we have. We are a luxury brand. I think we're actually, I would arguably say that we're the only luxury brand on the market for women of color. Everything else is a bit more mid-range, and I like that space. You know, I think that Black women deserve to have luxury in this space. Everything doesn't have to. You don't have to. Why do you always have to go to the drugstore to get your makeup? You know what I mean? To find the color that works for you. I know a lot of girls that just they love the finer things, and this is that. So I think it's just expanding that conversation. I have a few formulations that are coming out that I'm really proud of. That I think that a lot of women will enjoy, and just people in general, makeup enthusiasts in general, because right now it's just makeup is so gender neutral.
We're at a very neutral space.
Yeah, absolutely.
with
I mean, I
makeup.
love that. I mean, even like my male actors and like men that wear the product, like, oh my God, I love how undetectable it is, because it's just about being polished. It's not about you wearing makeup, like this
Right.
stigma, oh, I'm wearing makeup. It's just everybody wants to be polished. Everybody wants to look great. So as long as I can continue to push that forward in 2018, 2019, 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. All for years to come.
Then, you know, I feel like I'm doing my job.
For sure. Now, I heard some buzz about you doing makeup classes.
Yes.
So that brings me to my next question. How would the young millennial who is aspiring to be a makeup artist, a celebrity makeup artist,
Okay.
or a visionary, how would they take some of your skill set? Like, how would they get some of that info
How would you get a
that
little
you dropping on
AJ
us
Crimson
today?
magic? I mean, you come to a class.
Oh,
you
okay.
invest in yourself. I think that no matter what you do, you have to invest in yourself, and it doesn't.
I agree completely.
That's just what it is. You know, there's no skirting around it. You can say how much you're a self-taught artist, but again, you can only get yourself to a certain level.
Absolutely.
And I think that when you have an artist of a certain caliber come to a city where you have the opportunity to kind of sit with them, meet with them one-on-one, and absorb everything that they have, then you have to take that opportunity, and don't really look at the money that you don't have. Look at the money that you want to make.
Yes.
You know, because if you want to do $25 faces, then, you know, I guess that girl's out there, but that's not going to ever pay your bills.
No.
You know, how many $25 faces do you have to do to get your phone bill paid? You know, I have a pretty high phone bill, so
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
I would never make it.
Yeah.
So I think it's investing in yourself, and definitely coming to a class. I have a new app that
Yeah, I heard
part of.
something about a new app. I saw something on your social. Talk
Yes,
about that
it's
a little
called
bit.
Medix Beauty,
Yes.
the Medix Beauty app. You can download it on ISO and Android.
Okay.
And on this app, it's kind of it's the best of both worlds, because what you're getting are amazing top tier makeup artists, professional working makeup artists every day, working in industry in 1,000 capacities, where there's product development to actual application, and we've taken it kind of off of the YouTube space, you know, so you're not
Yes.
getting just the mom who decided to teach herself how to do makeup, and you're learning those techniques, but you're learning things that work on movies and television and behind the scenes and red carpet. So when you go to my app, you can download it, and you can a la carte it. You know, I want to say like maybe some of each video is about maybe $1.95, something like that, or you can subscribe. I mean, again, if
That
you can't,
is perfect. $1.95.
yeah. That's,
And
if you can't find $1.95,
$1.95 to invest in your future.
right?
Come on now.
You know.
Yeah.
So you know, so that you have the beauty app, and again, I'm on tour.
Yes.
So I have an app right now. I'm doing Fabulously 30 and Beyond, and I'm doing that in 6 cities right now, which Detroit happens to be one.
Is that the wave right now? I saw that Kim Kardashian was doing something about 30 plus
Oh,
with
is
her
she? Okay, so I didn't
concealers.
even know
Yeah.
that.
She
You know-
just released it like yesterday.
The thing is that, you know, in the beauty space, everybody is racing towards
Yeah.
this millennial, like 19-year-old girl. You know, unfortunately, my price point and the luxury that I'm bringing, that's not really where she is. Like,
Yes.
you know, there's a lot of brands.
have to
that
know
are
your
with it.
brand.
You got to know your brand, and there's definitely a space for that. That's not really where I'm at. You know, like I'm with that girl who's a career woman. I've always identified with strong women and women that have a vision for themselves and where they want to go. And that girl really starts to develop herself and really starts to come into her own, into her 30s and beyond. And then you have this woman who's 45 and up that she's an executive. She's traveling the world. She's making a lot of money. Like she's living her best life, you know, and that's what that 30-year-old wants to aspire to be. So, and a lot of people forget about her. So, you know, again, like I'm always about kind of rooting for the underdog and kind of saying, hey, like, you know what, I didn't forget about you. I know that you're there. I see you, and I want you to come be a part of this, because, you know, again, like a lot of women just, you know, they don't necessarily know how to do their makeup, and that age group specifically is a very sweet spot for my brand.
Yes.
Because she understands luxury, she understands the importance of looking great, and she's on the move, so she's gonna do it with me.
Love it. Do it with AJ. Now, where are these classes? I cut you off earlier.
Okay.
It's starting in Detroit.
So we're starting in Detroit. We're then going to Houston, Atlanta. There's, oh my God, why do I forget? I always forget like when I try to name them off. There's Houston,
Yeah, because there's so many.
There's Detroit, there's New York.
Okay.
There's Los Angeles, which we're doing inside of the AJ Crimson Beauty Atelier, which is my first storefront.
But that's going to be the best one.
Which is great. Yeah, that's gonna be. No, actually, I think Detroit is going to be the best.
Really?
One, to be honest. Yeah, like
Oh
I
my
always
God,
have
I'm
such
so
a huge turnout in Detroit, so I'm actually really excited about it, and that's why I'm starting it and kicking it off here. And then, yeah, but if you go to ajcrimson.com or you go to my Instagram, which is at AJ Crimson. Everything is AJ Crimson, like the color, and you can just click the bio in my. Click the link in my bio and it'll take you to all of the classes. You're gonna get a $500 gift bag. And
that alone is worth $1 million because his expertise, guys. Come on now.
I'm giving you like amazing products, like Smashbox has already confirmed.
Smashbox, yeah.
Beauty Blender is sending stuff. I mean, there's so many different people. I'm giving you a $50 gift certificate for AJ Crimson. So the money that you spend, like to register for the class, you're actually getting part of that back that you can use at the website or at the event. And then I'm also, for the first 15 people or so in every city, I'm giving a Sephora gift card that I'm just purchasing. Sephora didn't give it to me. I'm just buying it.
What's better than that?
Yeah, we're gonna remix your makeup bag, bring all your stuff. It's awesome. It's a great experience.
That sounds like
sip some champagne if you're old enough. And you don't have to necessarily be 30 to be a part of the class. And you don't necessarily have to be a non-makeup professional. You really, all walks of life, everybody's gonna be able to walk away with something.
Perfect. Yeah. I am for sure signing up. So go to ajcrimson.com.
Yes, ajcrimson.com, or you can go on Instagram at ajcrimson and click the link in the bio.
Click the link in the bio. Get your tickets. They're going to be out fast, and you're going to be left in the dirt. Right. Yeah. So that's bringing us to the end, AJ. Okay, now, before we leave, pick what's your favorite number, 1 through 10?
Do I tell you?
Tell me your favorite number, 1 through 10.
8.
8. So we're gonna give AJ 8 seconds, and we're gonna play this or that real quick before we head out. Okay?
I should pick my other favorite number.
Yeah. What was your other favorite number?
10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You would have had 10 seconds. No. So we're gonna start now. Translucent powder or highlight?
Translucent powder.
Winged eyeliner or fierce brow?
Fierce brow.
Contour or concealer?
Contour.
Red lip or nude lip?
Red lip. Crimson rose.
Crimson rose lip. Beauty blender or brushes?
Oh, I'm on the fence because I like a little bit of a beauty blender, but I also love like
real makeup artists use a lot of brush.
I love like a brush. Yeah, I love like a medium blush brush.
You're gonna go with the brush?
I think so.
Okay. Now this is getting a little messy. LaToya Luckett or Oprah Winfrey? I know, because I listen. I did my research here, you guys. And LaToya Luckett is like his sister, and Oprah Winfrey was one of his clients. So we're gonna get real. You gotta choose.
So Oprah Winfrey was like is like the muse, you know what I mean, or is the epitome of what you do to be successful. And
Absolutely.
LaToya Luckett is my sister. So it's like
I just wanted to make it really messy.
You are messy. You are messy. And I'm gonna pass on that.
Okay, we can pass on that one. Black Panther or Power?
You are really messy. You know what? Okay, I gotta give it to Black. Okay, you are.
You gotta pick.
Naturi Naughton is my brand ambassador, guys. Like, how am I gonna not say Power? But I love Black excellence in that Black Panther movement. We just made $1 billion at the box office, so I'm gonna go with Black Panther.
We're gonna go with Black Panther. Yeah. He did not make his 8 seconds, but he had an amazing interview. Go to ajcrimson.com or at
AJ Crimson on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Right
now to get all of this wonderful, beautiful, amazing, talented information.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Press Culture TV. Bye, guys.